If you're watching this right now, you're already consuming more information than your mind probably needs. We're constantly bombarded with content, social media, ads, news, and notifications, so much so that we rarely experience true stillness anymore. If you've been feeling drained, scattered, or mentally exhausted, it's not just in your head, your brain is overworked. But the good news, there are simple ways to take back control and reduce overstimulation and allow your mind to reset. That's exactly what I'm sharing with you today. So before we get into solutions, let's talk a little bit about what overstimulation feels like and looks like. If you relate to any of these, then chances are you need to have a mental reset of your own. The first thing that I like to address when I feel as though someone or myself is overstimulated is constant anxiety. Like there's always something to do. That's one thing that I've noticed very often that a lot of people who are overstimulated are feeling. They're feeling as if they constantly have a never-ending to-do list and there's no way that they're going to complete it all. Next, we have doom scrolling without really absorbing any of the information. I know we constantly find ourselves just aimlessly opening up apps and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling with no real goal or destination in mind. And this sometimes happens subconsciously. We find ourselves just picking up our phones, opening Instagram or any social media app for that matter, and just scrolling continuously. Next, we have doing a lot but feeling like nothing's getting done. This has a lot to do with not really having a direction and just kind of going about life and allowing it to happen to you instead of for you. Next, we have procrastination, finding distractions instead of doing what you know you need to do. So a lot of the times when we're procrastinating, we tend to give in to these other things like doom scrolling or putting a lot on our plate without really being able to manage all of it. So procrastination comes into play when we are overstimulated because there are so many other things going on other than what it is that we truly need to be doing. And lastly, struggling to be present and feeling disconnected from self. This is one that I really truly want to spend some time on and help you guys to reconnect with yourself, because a lot of the time when we're overstimulated, it can feel as though we are not within our bodies or we're not on our path or we don't feel aligned. And this can cause a lot of turmoil within the body. So this can lead to issues with our health. It can lead to anxiety. It can lead to depression. And so I want to make sure that we have a clear understanding of what overstimulation might look like and feel like. Over time, overstimulation can take a toll on your mental clarity, your focus, and even your creativity. But the good news is that you don't have to live in a state of overstimulation. So here are some tips on how to reset. So the first thing I will mention is avoid checking your phone first thing in the morning. I've personally started implementing this in my rising routine and it has been such a game changer. Your morning sets the tone for your entire day. If the first thing you do when you wake up is scroll through notifications, you're letting external energy dictate your mindset before you can even take your first breath. Instead, I recommend starting with silence. Meditation is a great thing to do first thing in the rising before you even get out of bed, even if it's just you're awake but you're still laying down, you close your eyes and you take about 10 minutes to yourself or however long you feel is necessary to just realign yourself in the day and set your intentions before even getting out of bed. I recommend stretching to pass some time, but also to wake your body up and to get yourself prepared to go throughout the day in a physical manner. Journal before reaching for your phone. This way you can set your intentions for the day again, but also this way you're able to release any thoughts or dreams you might have had the night before, any goals that you want to achieve throughout the day. You can write this down at this point in time before even checking your phone so that you don't forget what your intentions are for the day. Instead of checking your phone first thing in the morning, try starting your day with silence, meditation, stretching, and journaling to help you kind of center and ground yourself before you participate in the external world. This way you have more control of how your day begins and how your day goes. Tip 2 is a continuation of tip 1. It's essentially taking technology-free breaks throughout the day. I love taking a midday walk with nothing but my notebook, no music, no podcasts, no screens, just me and my thoughts. This is a great way to help you reset throughout the day, especially if you work in an overstimulated environment where you're constantly on computers or your phone or in front of any sort of technology, radio waves, whatever the case is, taking a break from technology, even if it's just for 10 minutes a day, that's all you really need. Trust me, if you implement this for 10 to 20 minutes a day, you'll start to notice how you feel throughout the day. You'll start to notice that you feel more calm within and that you're able to achieve a lot more when you're taking these breaks from technology. Tip number 3 is to reset your algorithms. If you're doom scrolling, at least make it work for you. Your social media algorithm reflects what you engage with. If you keep getting content that drains you, then reset it. You have all the power to do so. The issue with algorithms is that it's going to continue to show you things that you interact with. And so this is something that I could probably make a whole video on, but what you consume, it becomes your reality. So let's say that you have a vision board and you know exactly what it is that you want to manifest. Start incorporating this into all of your social media algorithms, whether it's Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, Threads, Twitter, X, whatever your platform of choice is. Start only consuming information and content that aligns with who you want to become or who you believe that you are. Over time, you'll start to notice a shift in your reality, a shift in your mindset, and a shift in the way that we view social media. Social media and anything we consume online should be used as a tool to enhance what it is that we already know and we already are. So this means going an extra mile and unfollowing accounts that no longer align with you. This also means following people that inspire you, educate you, or bring you peace. You are the sum of the content that you consume, so choose wisely. This, I can't emphasize enough, is so important when it comes to manifesting and creating the reality that you desire. Tip number 4 is to declutter your digital and your physical space. Your entire world reflects your internal state. If you're feeling overstimulated, take a look at your space around you. On the digital side, this looks like cleaning out your inboxes, removing excess apps that you no longer use or that are not serving you anymore, and clear out your notifications. When you're constantly seeing notifications stacking up, it creates a level of anxiety that we have come to adapt as a culture, when in reality, people should not have this much access to us to begin with. And then in terms of your physical space, organizing your room, making sure that your space is very clean so that you can think clearly. Your outer world is definitely a reflection of your inner world, but the same thing is true vice versa. If you clean up your outer world, it begins to clean up your inner world. So if you take a look around your room, your car, your purse, your book bag, your desk, your kitchen, anywhere that you spend time, if it's cluttered, you want to begin cleaning it up. And if you're in an environment where you're not able to do this, I understand there are so many different circumstances. I recommend finding a small place that you can call your own and making sure that that place is always clean. So if it's your car, then you have control over that being clean. If it's just your bedroom, you have control over that space being clean. You want to start with what you have control of. And then over time, you will begin to see that other areas of your life will begin to clean up. Other opportunities will begin to open up for you. A clean space equals a calm mind. Even if your mind is not calm, cleaning your space will help you get there. And lastly, tip number 5 is to create a mindful evening reset. I like to end my night the way that I start my day, with no technology, without screens. Before bed, I like to dim my lights and put my phone away in a corner where I can't reach it. After a certain hour, I am no longer on my phone. Even if I am awake, this just allows me to help myself prepare for bed without looking at my screen right before I fall asleep, because this can alter our brain waves. I will probably make a separate video about the different wavelengths that we go through right before sleep, while we're sleeping, and right before we wake up, and how beneficial they are to our creative process and to setting the tone for our day. My night routine usually looks like reading, journaling, or meditating, one of those 3 or a combination of the 3. This gives me time to allow my brain to slow down before sleep. One of the worst things you can do is go from an overstimulated environment straight into deep sleep, because this can alter the dreams that we have. This can alter the messages that we receive while we're sleeping. This can alter so much more, going deeper into our circadian rhythm, going into our biological processes. So we want to make sure we give our body the space it needs to carry out these natural functions. So my bonus tip is, if you really want to take this a step further, I recommend doing a social media detox. I personally have been been off of Instagram for the last 6 months, and it's honestly been such a game changer for me. I've never really been someone who's been super into Instagram or social media in general, so this was fairly easy for me. But if you're someone who's new to this, I recommend doing a day or 2 or even 3 days, and then working your way up to a week to see how far you can go without social media. This social media detox is so important because I think a lot of the times people think that a general body detox is all we need, but in reality, we sometimes need detoxes from a lot of things that we consume, not just food. So social media detoxing comes with so many benefits, and you'll begin to see your creativity spike more. You begin to see that you find yourself doing things that you forgot you loved to do. You may discover a new hobby. You may make some real life friends that align with who you want to become. The universe begins to bring you more of what it is that you desire when you begin to clean out and declutter, especially when it comes to social media. Some ways you can do this is you can completely delete these apps. Once you've built up a detachment from it, I recommend doing that. Or if you are someone who needs a little bit more time, you can start setting timers on these apps, allowing yourself to only consume for an hour a day, or at most 2 hours a day. If you take a look at your screen time right now, you'd probably be surprised at how much social media you actually consume. So as a start, you can challenge yourself to reduce this hour by hour, week by week. If you use some or all of the tips that I provided in this video today, I promise you'll begin to feel more peace and less overstimulation. And if you like this video, please be sure to subscribe for more wellness content. And I want to see your comments down below. What do you do to overcome overstimulation?